right, everybody, Michael Rola.
Yeah. Hi,
We did it.
guys. All right. We're working. It's not letting me turn sideways, so we don't got much of an option there. But
Oh,
how are you? Oh my
I'm good. How
gosh.
are you? Great to have you on.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Of course. Of course. Thanks for having me. I was totally not, excited to hear from you and, get this all going. So yeah, thanks for having me for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've been watching, all the great things that you're doing, and
Oh,
you have a little bit of a comedian in you too, so I think that's pretty great. And I know you do a lot of centering work and things like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. I try to make it fun, as best as we can. And I think that no matter who you are, where you're at, where you're coming from, there's always an angle because we can only have an angle. We're only, fractal of so much. So it's funny when we don't know things or, we think we know something and you're like, yeah, oh, no, that's totally wrong. Sorry. I mean, it's like, but I gave it my all and that's what matters, guys. So,
Yes.
yeah, because as long as you're learning, right? Like there's no wrong practice as long as you keep practicing and you are moving forward. So yeah, I really got into it all because Tai Chi, Kung Fu, all that kind of stuff. I always loved it as a kid. And so I started like reading a lot about it and I got into the Tai Chi and the yin and yang, and I get into this and I got into that. And I always ask that why question, I think I told you one time when I was, 3 years old, I used to sing in church choir, and so we walked out, and I know it was before I was 3 or 4. It was before preschool because I went to preschool at 4, and I don't think I was going to school. And it said Lutheran, and I said, "Well, what's the difference?" To my mom, she said, "Well, there's some people believe in Jesus, some people don't, And so from like 3 years old, I was always like, "Okay, we're all here. We're all just trying to figure this out together, and we're all just trying to do this and that." So I feel like I've always had a sense of like stepping back and going, whoa, 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 what does this boil down to? Why are
Right.
you getting so, for guys, why are you so macho over there, Peter? I know we know who you are. Come on, let's go. You know what I mean? He's just putting on a show for whatever's going on and he cares and we want to help him. But, it's whatever it is, and not like it's bad or good. It always comes from something very
Right.
simple, very, core to what we feel or whatever, the case may be. And that's totally normal, and I think we try to make it all into all the amazing things in the world. But yeah, just when you study, I think the yin and yang, and then
Hmm.
it's like everything is yin and yang. And then, well, what starts yin and yang? And well, that's the yuan chi, which, oh my gosh, what's yuan chi? I've never heard that. Nobody
Heard of
talks
that.
about that
No.
one. And then it just means neutral. So it's just like positive, negative, and neutral. It's just like energy. And then so it just kind of was like, hello, all we're doing is playing. Some guy's a fire guy, some, kung fu, some guy's a water guy, air guy. I mean, it's all just, and it's all what we
So do
are.
you think
So
it's a thing of good and evil, or pretty
yeah,
much?
yeah, it's like that is just another polarity of it. That's why the big picture is it's all love because none of it would be allowed to exist if
Right.
and then it gets into the mess of it all. Though, well, if you didn't experience that, how'd you know you didn't like it? Oh, I could have guessed, but it's like, but
So it's like a
it's like,
balancing act. In other words, you have to have
yeah.
the good with the bad. Um, Explain to us about energy. Like, how important is energy? Like, you have people that suck out your energy, which can really
Mhm.
drain you. I think
Yeah.
everybody's been through that. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, that's really a subtle field because, or, thing to notice because even your best friends, your family, it's that moment. I break it down where you're talking with somebody and you just zone out and you just miss everything that they said, or they zone out and they miss everything that you said. It's how we all need to just use our own energy and get used to using our own energy and how to really seal it, how to say I need my space and not have your partner think you're leaving them, or
Right.
whatever. You
Yeah.
like you're planning a coup, No, I just need that space, babe. Give me, whatever time I need, but really sealing your energy. So like charging from the sun, that gives you that. And you stay in the sun for an hour, you come back, it's like you're in a new world. It's like it's a whole new, you
True.
let that wash over you. If you sit in the sun long enough, or you go swimming long enough and you get all pruny, and then you take a shower and you get cold and you're like, why am I cold? Because you were swimming. Oh yeah, I'm cold. Everything that affects you is so just subtle, and that's why like it comes down to even food and the water we drink and the air we breathe, and
Hmm.
we've got to do everything we can
Everything.
to mitigate the fact that this is a very dense polarized place and with a lot of negativity. I said it. We're at war out here, but not to make anybody startled or anything, but it is. It's for your mind. It's for your attention. So you'll buy this. So you'll buy that. Whatever.
Hmm.
Don't use war, but it's you gotta. We all gotta be protecting ourselves and being aware of the body. I think that's why for me, I just with the energy, I'm clairsentient, feely anyways, my nerves. So I'm always like spidey sense is how I feel like sometimes, so I feel like I notice a lot of those types of things. And the best thing we can do is, yeah, watch for the lead, just keep it simple. I gotta try to in, out, and all you want to do is keep it circulating inside.
Yeah.
And then if you want to like give love out there, you give it. And then if you're getting it back because you'll feel
Hmm.
it. It's from a true friend who you're talking to, and then they're just coming right back at you with all the love and support. The energy as soon as you feel it. But we're so used to being in a not the friendliest of place, or growing up, and so we accept perhaps what isn't good energy,
And
oh,
the
because it,
funny thing
yeah,
is, and I think maybe you would know too, that your body will give you a reaction to a bad energy. Like I've experienced
yeah,
it quite a few times, and
and
you get this vibe in your body that nope, this isn't good. So I
yeah, just
mean,
the littlest thing, even
mhm,
it's the same. They say if it doesn't feel right, don't do it at all. And maybe some cases you're just nervous and it's okay, but everything is that subtle. That's why, like with it's we think it's okay, and it's like, oh my, that's just my tummy because I had, what I shouldn't have had so much lunch or whatever, and whatever. But if you sit with it and you say, what is actually wrong with you about the lunch, about the food, about the this, and then you get, what was it, the bread or was it the cheese or what, what
yeah,
was it that I had, and that's the only way you're gonna find out, and I think a lot of this stuff, we got pills and we got all this, modern pharmaceutical, I would love to take that, the one elixir, drink it, and it just heals of course, but if you do the work yourself, it's just as rewarding. Like your body knows as much as any doctor can ever tell you. And most of the time they have to test you to find out, and then they're guessing what it could be. And they know more than I know. I'm not,
sure,
I haven't studied. But, yeah, if your body says no, no, don't go there. If your body says yes, yes, do it. And until it gets cleaned out to a degree, you might not, because sometimes it'll say, oh, I really want a cheeseburger, and it's like, why? Well, because I need protein, for a bad example, I
mhm,
guess you say. But yeah, it'll tell you stuff like that. Why do we get chocolate ice cream craving, and then it's like, well, maybe you need the magnesium that's in chocolate or something, and you just find another source of magnesium because it's like getting full or not being full. You eat a whole bag of chips and you can keep eating a whole nother bag because you're not the right nutrition, So we think we need to eat more. We think more, 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 but you just need the right, some vitamin A's. I take,
right,
supplements like ABC, so I get them all, and then I'll have one, maybe two meals a day. I need one meal, big meal in the middle of the day. If I feel like eating something in the morning, I do. If I feel like eating something, and I think that is more being aware of what your body wants you to really
sure,
do than, the pyramid, like, where you're taught
right.
and then all your
Which we were
food
taught in school,
groups
by the way.
in school. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, and not everybody's body's the same, so how could they even know, So
Yeah.
that's why they
Now
generalize
we're
this
up
whole
the food
calories.
chain now.
What
We're
was
up the
that?
food chain now. We've come very far from the food chain.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even think plants is in there anywhere, you know. So,
anymore,
no,
right?
I'm just kidding. It's like anything good for
So
you now.
yeah,
Yeah, I hope that answers
Ethan's
some of your
working,
questions
but he's
there.
trying to catch up. Thank you for showing up,
Yeah,
Ethan, Pete, Shanna. Um,
Shanna, yeah, thanks.
so going back a little bit, you have a website now, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've had it for a couple years. I started. It was about 5 or 6 years ago. I really started getting into all of this, but that was the beginning for me. And so about a year and a half, I crashed course beings coming into the room, like middle of the day. And I talk about it on my website, like
Hmm.
and how it was just like in my profile or whatever, but they're just like right there, right? Just I can't see them, but I know you're there. Stop me dead in my tracks. And it's like, what is going on here? And I went through the whole. We're not learning, we're remembering who we are. Oh yeah, I knew, I've always known, and I went through my whole, just that first awakening where everything starts to click and everything, and then you gotta throw things out and you gotta get new thing. So probably a year after that, so say 2.5 years, so 3 years ago, yeah, just about when I started the website ish, a couple months, I took mediumship courses and learned how to just channel. So I had already understood the energy, fire, water, all of that kind of stuff and the emotions behind it. Because when you learn, fire's, hatred, and then, your kidneys are the water, so it's sadness. And then, you learn all these different things with the organs. And then when I practiced and I was working with other people channeling, it was just like, it would come in and I'd be like, oh, that feels like this one time I did a meditation or I was doing a Tai Chi or I was doing a breathing, you feel a lot like that. And then they'd go like, yeah. And then I'd just be able to interact in my own way like that. I was aware of it and it all just kind of, clicked. And then, you read horse or tarot cards, and how they're all just symbols, astrology, it's all
Hmm.
symbols. Everything's just like the whole world is literally already here. It's telling us what it is
What?
all the
Right.
time. And that's how I got into just starting to talk about it that way. So I just created the website. I wanted to help people connect to those energies too in different ways. And, so I've been sort of just figuring out how to do it the best myself,
Hmm.
going through my old things that I learned and some new things and kind of figuring out a way to put it all together in my own words so that
Right.
it's not just repeating because we can look up elements, and we can all look that stuff up, no problem. So I'm trying to dumb it down because even I need it that way, because on a day-to-day basis, if we don't understand, our higher selves might see it and know, and we'll get a ping and we'll go, oh, but if we didn't catch it, we didn't even know it was there. We didn't even. So it's that's why I love, that's why I started my show with my
Right.
YouTube channel. Yeah, and then because
Excellent.
I just got to blab about all this stuff because I've talked to, anybody in the world. I'm such a blabber anyway. So I talk to everybody, and everybody I talk to, I'll get everybody there at some point, and whether that's further or farther, but sometimes some people, they've been telling me like my whole life, you need to do a blog or you need to do a show or you need to do something and just like talk. And I'm just like, about what? And so I think once I finally got to that point with the mediumship, and then I was like, okay, religion, spirituality, going back to 3 years old,
Right.
all these different things, and they're all just the same because I'm like, that's energy. If you called in Ares, the god of war, which is Greek, and then you called in, the fire god from Kali or something from,
Right.
and then like pagan, they're all going to feel the same fire, but
Mhm.
there's going to be very subtle nuances, and those nuances are like our fingerprints. There's
Right.
billions of us here can barely even begin to scratch the surface of how many other beings are really out there and who people who are all
True.
connecting to. What's this person's name? What's person's that name? Hey, it feels like Aries. I don't know. So I'm gonna do this with Aries. And then 9 times out of 10, if it is that energy, it's gonna be a reflection or a mirror anyways.
Yeah.
And so you're not, Aries, and then he'll because I've done it, and I can't think of and then they'll show up again like behind and I'm like, oh, What wasn't you? Okay, I don't, we're gonna do it anyways or whatever. I don't
Right.
even know, but yeah, it's so subtle, and so that's why who you are and what you're connected to is so key to like what you're already doing, who you're
Yeah.
already talking to, what's already going on, who you feel resonating with, because the way I see it is like everything that everybody says, I can potentially resonate to. And I don't know if that's a good thing or that it makes me
Yeah.
crazy all over the place all the time, but I think I've always had that. I got a good core, I guess. It's the Libra, I can't help but as
Libra.
far as I'll go this way, I always got that other guy going, yeah, right, you think you're
Uh-huh.
okay. I always have a dual, I'll never be able to stop the Libra.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it
Libra.
helps
Yeah.
me talk about it, I think. Yeah, the community, it's just what I like to do. And then a Pisces moon, so I'm very magical in the Pisces way,
Yeah.
whatever that would be. Yeah.
Well, you're
So
very
like
energetic, you know.
confusing. Yeah, no, it's if I hear about every time I hear about Pisces, everybody says like they talk and nobody knows what they're saying. I go, yeah,
Right.
that's why they gave me Libra, and I'm actually a Libra rising also. So I got double Libra till I can get this out and try to make sense of it all. So something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So what is the name of your YouTube channel? Do you have a name
Just
for it?
Michael, yeah, Michael Rola channel is
Okay.
all of my stuff. Yeah. Just kept it as that. I started it as Awakening Consciousness. Oh, that's my Facebook, and that's what I started my website as. But right now, I'm just putting it all over in the Michael Rola channel. So just my Facebook is, but I mostly just post like my videos and whatever anybody else posts on there. Just creating a community for everybody because I just think we need the place to talk. I think it's the
Oh,
best
absolutely.
times
I agree.
when we're all there and we're all laughing at each other, we're laughing at ourselves, and we're all making ourselves, get to where we want to go. I mean, the world's going to change in such a big way
Big way.
because of how the rubber band's just been pulled back so hard, oppressed, 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 oppressed,
Mhm.
oppressed, oppressed for such a long time and that just means we got to go gently into
To it.
it's
And
gonna
change. Everybody's got to adapt and change to it, which is going to be very easy for some people and really hard for others.
right,
So,
right. Yeah,
it's
and just thinking of my own journey. Yeah, and anybody who's just even talking about stuff like anybody who's doing this now, we're gonna be okay, a little more okay. We're gonna understand. But I think a lot of the stuff, and most of the population, I think, right, like probably at least 50%, 60, 70 is probably not maybe
right.
doing all of this stuff yet. So
No,
there's going to be a huge influx of this and opportunity for all of us to
yeah,
help.
help.
Yeah,
People are going
um,
to need a lot of help after this, I
yeah,
think.
because
Yeah. Or
because
through
because
this.
that's and we all go through it individually and maybe collective, maybe little groups and pockets here and there, and think of the changes that we've had. And we can't have too drastic. I mean, it's all physical, everything. So if the whole population, if
Yeah.
they all just woke up tomorrow, like what if all nothing but love, and then boom, for a whole 24 hours, would the Earth's tilt just all of a sudden go boom, like 26 degrees right back to the
Right.
center? Would everything just all of a sudden get aligned? If that happened, that would be catastrophic. We'd all be gone. We'd fix the
Yeah.
earth, but nobody be here anymore or something.
Right.
So it really is that, the patience game. And
It
a
is.
lot of, that's why I always say shout out to people who've been doing this for years. I mean,
Mhm.
decades, the OGs,
Yeah.
Barbara
So they're ahead of
Marcin,
the
all of
game
them.
really because they understand it a lot more than the upcoming people do, which
Yeah.
is good for them. But the younger generation is really not listening. So now it's up to people like you and
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
else.
just pushing it forward. Yeah,
Yeah,
keeping it a community a real thing, and getting kids excited about it, and and what kid
hmm
isn't excited about magic? Tell them,
exactly. Yeah.
it's all
And that's a
real,
great way to put
kiddo.
it. Yep,
Just got to learn how to do it and what you can and can't do, in the physical realm. So
exactly.
because that's all we're learning. Our parents are
It's true.
teaching you is what you can get, can't get. We're not trying to hold you down. They're just trying to, but yeah,
They're teaching
I'm
what
in.
they learned, and there was really no moving forward, it was just, you know what you know, and that's it. And this is the generation to spread your wings, and
Right.
so each generation is,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
different
And
than
that's,
it was like the 60s or
yeah,
70s. So
that's
it's
so
kind of neat
cool.
in a way,
Yeah, yeah,
but
no, my grandpa too. He's 88 right now, and I mean he's the coolest grandpa in the world. But the one time I always say I said something that was a bit of a contradiction, and just in thought, like I wasn't trying. I was
Mhm.
like, but didn't you just say blah blah blah? And the whole room, I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like you could feel, and yeah, it's that mentalities, and there's so much there that I recognize in him that he's protecting
Mhm.
that he knows is true and he knows is real for him and in everybody's own way. That's all that that's all that we've been doing this whole entire
Mm,
time to the
exactly.
best of our ability. And I just feel that, yeah, the sooner we were like, oh man, I went through that too. That's what it all is, everything, right? I went through that too. Say that to
Mhm.
anybody, you'll fix them immediately and just sit there and talk with them. I
That's
think,
it's really
yeah,
what everybody needs is to talk it out and know that somebody else went through it, or that somebody understands. And
yeah. My
that's a good
girlfriend,
thing.
or I should say my ex-girlfriend,
Mhm.
I went through like a really big violet sacred fire thing where my whole body was like rising. I was just on the bed and I was middle of the day. I was listening to an Archangel Michael video, and I was just
Mhm.
like, oh my God, this is the most excruciating pain I've ever felt. But at the same time, it's so subtle, I can almost ignore it. But it's excruciating and I can't ignore it.
Right.
It was the weirdest thing. And it was my whole body. And then I guess, later I found out, with the mediumship friend, that it was just sacred violet fire. And what they had channeled was that that's what spontaneous combustion is in people when they spontaneously light on fire from the inside. It's because of the
Hmm.
frequency resonance. So I knew that I was being upgraded, and I knew it then too. I
Wow.
didn't find out for about a year later, but then my ex, she ended up going through the same exact thing,
Wow.
and she was not like into this stuff, awake, anything like that. If I wasn't there to explain any of this to her, I mean, she would have been straight to the hospital trying to figure out what she's on. They're
Figure it
going to be
out.
giving her medications and
Mhm.
telling her to stay home, miss work, whatever. And she was fine the next day. Next day, she was totally fine. I mean, I sat with her like the whole day. I was like, just lay in bed, call me if you need anything, and you're gonna be
Wow.
fine. Trust me, I know it sucks. Just try to get to sleep and sleep past it. But yeah, things like that, we're we're not gonna you're not gonna be able to, there's not gonna be any doctor in the world. Well,
That can fix it. Yeah.
we're
Well,
out there. Yeah,
yeah.
the specials, well, yeah, they're out there. Yeah. So, and who knows what they're gonna make of it too. That's the other thing too. So it's really interesting. Like we're gonna become the new doctors. We're gonna
Yeah.
become the new all of that stuff, and it's just really wild to see it
It
all
is. I was just
happening
gonna say that. Yep. Very
because it's
wild.
happening. It's very
It
much
is.
happening now, more than it ever has been. So,
And you
at
can
least to
feel the
me,
change and the different vibrations in the world right now. And you're like,
yeah.
well, something's really off, but I think it's good, but I don't know if it's good.
Because I have no idea what it is, right?
Exactly.
And so,
Yep.
is it the scary comfort zone, or is it the oh my God, it feels like I'm a kid again and this is brand new and I just totally want to do it. And then I got this guy. Yeah, yeah, go for it. Uh-huh. See how it happened last time. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But this time I'm going like, no, I don't care. I'm going. I already went through that. I figured that out. I'm still here in this body. I get that. And this feels really good. And that's why I keep saying like just with lately, I just keep saying like feel whatever feels good. Just have
Hmm.
to go in that direction. That's the
Yep.
key. All the things to, learn Tai Chi, don't learn Tai Chi, meditate, don't meditate, do yoga, don't you, don't, who cares? But do it because it feels
But
good. You love doing it, and everything else will fall into place.
going to
Because then
place.
anybody who doesn't support that, anything that doesn't support that, right? Things will fall off your schedule. If spirit thinks you need more yoga time, it's gonna make room for you. Like it'll all happen, and then there's the whole level of just becoming consciously aware of your
Yep.
creations, and that is. That's big for any of us. I don't think there's anybody out there that's truly. I think if you truly master that, that's when you ascend, or you choose to come back, and then I don't know, maybe that we got a handful, maybe 10. I think I've heard that before. We got about maybe 10 actually ascended master incarnated being type that we're all thinking who's here, who's what, but it's not a
Yeah.
lot, you know. So we're all still on the learning path, and we all got to kind of just learn your best thing, you know. You guys, yeah. That's why I like teaching, but not, you know, like the Tao Te Ching says, you know, the master teaches by filling the people's resolves, but emptying their like knowing, like emptying you everything you know, but filling you with you're fine. It doesn't matter. You don't need to, you know, so that you can find your own path, because we're not trying to tell you what to do. And
Mhm.
that's, I think, the whole MO. That's the so what
And then,
when I say, yeah.
the crazy thing is that if you look in the world right now with that statement that you just said, that's what they're all telling us to do. Throw everything out that you know, like the government, and you see what's going on out there.
Hmm.
It's like, well,
Hmm.
everything you learned in school, get rid of it, and we're bringing this in
Right.
now. But we're on
Right.
another level saying, hey, wait a minute, and it's just that vibration
Yeah.
again,
Yeah. Over and over,
good,
they're gonna
bad.
keep, yeah, doing what they can
Yeah.
to
So
pumping
what
in. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on that note, I know you do crypto as well. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk about that for a little bit.
Sure. That's a really exciting thing. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, it used to be really, Bitcoin used to be, I think it came out, I'm probably wrong, but it was like 25 cents, you know, when it first came out, and people were just messing around with it, just sending it back and forth. And we might have all heard the story about the guy who bought two pizzas from Papa John's for 10,000 Bitcoin. And you know, right now, oh man, if I had 10,000, I think it's $12 million. At
Wow.
40,000, it's about 12 million or something like that, right? So, yeah, there's really a lot to get into in a lot of different ways, but you know, I've been doing it for 4 years. I love it. It's done everything for me, and there's still a lot of opportunities out there. But a lot of what's been happening is all the infrastructure getting built. You know, a lot of the
Right.
companies, partnerships, all this stuff going on, like Microsoft. They, you know, when we hear about it, they've already been doing it for a year, or at least been talking about it for, you know.
Yeah.
So them getting into the metaverse and, you know, making these. I think Warren Buffett said it was rat. Bitcoin is rat poison times two or squared. And then he was already like one of the major investors in the blockchain city that they're building in Nevada. So they're building a whole city on 67,000 acres
Oh,
that's all on the blockchain. Everything you do, you walk down the street, your toaster's on the blockchain. It runs a blockchain that you earn income because you're using energy. And then when you leave the house, you borrow your energy to somebody else. So all of these things, like this interconnectedness and this
right.
decentralization. So you're borrowing. So when you're not home, you lend your energy to your neighbors or whoever's over there, and then you get
Right.
paid whatever it is off of that. And so there's all it's really gonna filter into every system that we have. It's just a matter of time with how long the energies the old wants to keep it, you know. And I mean, all the prices are manipulated. If it's on a computer, it's as easy as just clicking a zero, clicking a
Right.
button. And there's plenty of guys out there talking about that too. But yeah, it's if you look at its life, it's the fastest growing asset that we've ever had, period.
Sure. Yeah.
So faster than the internet, faster than everything, anything that we've ever had. And it's like double, triple, four times as fast. So of all the speculation, you know, 4 years being in, you know, seeing things that I got into at pennies, you know, that are not pennies anymore, you know, seeing this and hearing everybody talk. Oh, it's the devil. Oh, gonna be bad. It's this. They're good. They got it all. You know, no, you know what they got control of is fiat. That's what they got the control of. How are you trying to reverse psychology this on me right now? Wait a minute. You know, because it's decentralized. It's open source, so anybody can read what it's gonna do, and it's
Right.
trustless. I sign it, you sign it, we're done. No banks, nobody in the universe ever even has to know. And if it's between me and you, who needs to be out there scouring for, what did Michael and Judy,
Yeah.
how much? Oh, he bought carrots. All right, that's fine. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, it's not, it's so there's that nervous part of it, right? But this is where the regulation all comes in. We just need the governments to regulate from any money launderers, anybody like this. Obviously that's all going to be there, but Bitcoin accounts for 1% or all of the total market. They're not
Hmm.
laundering billions of dollars with 1% of the total.
Right.
You can't. There's not enough liquidity in the market, and they get caught instantly. So most of the stuff everybody's talking about is just fear and FUD, fear
Sure.
and uncertainty, duress, yeah, whatever.
And that happens
And
when people really don't know about something and they don't take the time to look into it.
yeah,
Of course, their
that's
antennas are going to go up, but if you don't
that's
have
so
the proof,
good.
then why knock it?
That you're nailing it. It's all about do your own research. That's like literally the age that we're in right now. We were in the age
Yeah.
of information. Now we gotta filter it all out because we got too much of it, I guess. But
It's
yeah, you
true.
can learn it, and that's why I got started. I was already doing spiritual stuff, and I saw it, and I was like, all right, it shot up to 20,000. I said, what is going on? And I lost my mind. Everything rewrote. Like I said this once recently, to a friend. I said, if it wasn't for cryptos, I feel like I'd be a totally different person. I'd be in a totally different timeline.
Level.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for cryptos coming out. And I don't think we all realize how much that's affecting us because it's affecting everything that's already happening. So we're all on this timeline going in this trajectory. And if you just have to look at the code, it's programmable money. It's a
Yeah.
no-brainer. It's going to be
It's
in
the
the
way of the
millions,
future, pretty much.
it's just
It's
going to.
coming.
It's
Yep.
faster. It's more, yeah, they don't have to spend on maintenance fees. We don't have, it destroys everything. And what we can do now with it, and this is what makes it, in my opinion, the best, is you can monetize energy. So we're all talking about energy and spiritual, and we're saying how your energy is going to be your currency. Well, now it literally is
Yes.
because you can take the energy output, say from like wind, solar, whatever, or volcanoes, from the energy from the actual earth that it generates, and then with the wattage, the power, store it, right? And then put it on the blockchain. So now it's monetized. So we monetized physical, you know what I mean, energy. We can monetize human
Right.
labor in a completely different way. So it's like the Brave browser and the BAT token, basic attention token. You just get the token just for browsing. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So we live in a world where we're paying for clips or clicks. People are paying for it, and they want traffic and they want this and this. Now where you go is going to pay you to watch them, and then you can even tip them. I mean, there's so many. It's just like it's going to change everything. I can't even begin. Don't worry about a metaverse and virtual reality. That's going to come too. But it's just going to everything we use. It's just all going to be. It's so much easier for like I know livestock and like
Hmm.
recording the weights, the size, the measurements, like it's all blockchain. And it's like there's so many things that are out there. There's farmer coins. There's a coin for everything, and it's because everything's better when it's on the blockchain. So it's just going to be a matter of time until we see where all the money goes. I'm pretty sure a lot of the money that they're printing is not just to save us like
Yeah.
it's always been meant to be to do. So yeah, the way I see cryptos is just get all your coins as you can. I made the joke, they've been preparing us secretly for the
Wait
past
for the.
20, 30 years with, Mario Bros and,
Yeah.
getting all those coins. So it's funny, us kids now, because the games are a huge one too, NFTs and all the games
Yep.
and all the,
It's
so
pretty
yeah,
wild when you look back to see everything that we all went through as kid, like you said, and now it's really coming to reality
yeah,
that life's a
yeah,
game, pretty much. Like I was saying in the
right.
last video, it's just strategy and which way you choose to go. Uh,
Yeah,
good,
it's like a
evil? Are you
what
gonna
are
be
those?
bad? Are you gonna be good? Are you gonna help
It's
the world?
it's a role playing game.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yep.
it's the total who's your healer and who's your fighter guy and the Leo, and then who's the whatever it is.
Yeah. So
Excuse me. But
yeah, I think
yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I think the work that you're doing is great. You should really, I don't know, think about
Cool.
running a course on this crypto because I learned a lot just about that from you tonight.
Yeah, cool.
And
I actually do. I have we had some Patreon up, and it was a fundamentals for Bitcoin and Ethereum.
okay,
But I have to take it down, and then I have to put it up with my website's getting merged because I had the crypto one and then I had my
okay,
web, so I'm gonna do the whole thing now. So, but it's still up, michaelrolachannel.com, and I have my services. So if, like I do consultations like 30 minutes or an hour if you just want to chat, depending on your level and
oh,
stuff, just to get in there. But I'll probably do like Patreon videos, and then you could just all month catch all the way up, and then make it easy or something like that. Because all this information is really going to be coming out, you know,
yeah,
um, anyways. And I see it now. Everybody in the industry is like, oh, you can be teaching this, and and because we're going to need it all, but eventually we're going to be past all of that. And so for me,
mhm,
I'm just kind of like, I'd rather catch us all up quicker so that
yeah,
we're all in the cryptos, because the sooner all of our money is out of fiat, and I don't know exactly that's going to be probably way too big of an implication. We're going to have something in there because of all the contracts we got going on. But
right,
yeah, the sooner it's out, the better. The more of us that are in cryptos, the more support the crypto networks have, because now you're a holder, like an actual
right,
shareholder
shareholder.
of the team, the project, the whatever. So it's really putting it back into our hands. But yeah, I'll definitely do more of that. I appreciate
Pretty neat.
the
Do you have any
feedback.
upcoming
Yeah,
classes coming up that are going to be recent or?
Um, Nothing recent. I'm trying to hopefully plan something for the summertime for
Hmm.
sure. I'm talking with the tribe, this old tribe, we're all talking about maybe a retreat or something like that. But I'm not too sure. I just had family move in with me, and we're still waiting on all their stuff. So we have like a half house that's built right now. So at this time, I'm just, yeah, doing what I got to
Taking
do
it easy
physically
and
here. Yeah, setting my intentions. We're in Aries season, so yeah, all of this is definitely, and that's what I'm doing too. Like I said, putting that course together in my own way where it takes a little from everything, because I don't want to go too far out. If we start talking about the pagan gods and then the Greek gods and then the
right.
Krishna and the Hindu gods, and then it's just going to be forever, and so
Mhm.
what is the point, and so like
So you kind of want to
almost
condense it into the important
almost like a
stuff and
diagram.
right.
Yeah, like you in the middle, and then go like fire, right? And then go like Aries, and then whatever the traits of fire, obviously,
Yep.
obviously, which I guess I'm not thinking off the top of my head, but there's a lot. It's really
There,
cool. Yeah,
there is.
getting into
There's a
all of
whole
that,
lot.
because so it's essentially five, because we got five major organs, and so we got our
Mhm.
lungs, which is the metal element, and then it goes to the liver, which is kidneys and water, then, or I mean, the kidneys, oh my gosh, water and blue color, white in the lungs, and then it goes to the kidneys, green, growth, grows up, so that's why we get frustrated. So and have heart attacks, right? Because of the angst, like we can't grow as children. So liver energy. So then people's livers can go bad, and so it goes into the heart, and then the heart, if you don't love, if you have hatred, if you do this, then your goes to earth, and then the earth, and so that's like the creation cycle, because fire burns things down to create more earth, and then like earth supports metal
Right.
chops wood, or that's the destruction cycle, metal chops wood. So it's like all the relations, and then when you can center them, that's, yeah, like I said, it's a lot to talk about, but that's what I
It
want
is.
to
It is a
kind
lot.
of,
But the main thing I
yeah,
think, and I
keep it
just wanted to
simple.
get this out there, was I did read this book and it was about, like, let's say you had a headache. That headache
Mm,
is caused by something internally. If
yeah.
you have a certain illness, there's something inside of you that you didn't deal with, or It's just, it goes
Exactly.
on that realm. And I think it's pretty interesting. If you can grasp that, then maybe you
Yep.
won't get sick. You know, it's like you said, it's all
Yeah.
about releasing that energy. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
And
pretty wild.
just and that's why I think like yeah, no matter what you learn, the one best thing you can always do is just fill yourself with as much love as you possibly can because how even consciously if you knew all that stuff, which the more we know the more power, sure, knowledge is power, but like so you what you described is so if you're if your lungs, if you're full of anxiety and then you're breathing, right? So now you're not going to support the amount of oxygen your kidneys need to support your emotions. So now you're going to get emotional out. So then if you go back what's before the lungs, it would be earth. So then your earth is going to overcompensate for the energy the lungs doesn't have because the creation cycle goes in that way. So earth's going to feed your lungs and then you'll get an overabundance or then a lack of in your earth, and these are
Right.
how all the different symptoms elementally
Accumulate. Yeah.
accumulate over, right? So you're either over, and that's the yin and yang within the yin and yang within the yin and yang within the yin, because it's so you got them all and they're all working, but no, now that one's off and now that one's off and that one's off and that, and the domino effect, right? And so
Yeah.
that's why I say the best to me, it's just one simple practice: as much love and light as you can, breathe and get as quiet as you can. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll find from there what you love to do. If you don't end up talking to Jesus, who cares? If you don't end up, you know what I mean? Because you always are. You know what I mean? They're always, it's you're talking to them, they're talking to you. It's not how you think so it's
Right.
going with your flow, breathe in, being happy, shining your light. That's the best thing you can do all the time, no matter what you think you got to learn, because you'll notice and you'll be told what it is when you do those things. That's why
Right.
they say the higher vibrate, stay in the higher realms, and then even cleaning out your body and being able to hear things or channel or do
Exactly.
stuff like that. You got to be clear,
Hmm.
at least, and then know yourself. Know if you're clear, know if you're not clear, be honest. If you're not clear and you still got to work that day, then be as clear as you possibly can and just stay there and don't go anywhere else,
Right.
because then spirit, if that's how you're supposed to be for like that client or this person or this project, then that's what that energy might actually need right there. As long as you
Right.
feel good again and you're not going off and getting upset, you're just like, listen, I'm somebody says something to me, I'm gonna snap. Stay there all day. We all know, leave them alone, right?
Yeah.
We
We've
need our
all been
space, like I was saying, just
there.
give me my space. So yeah, the best thing is, yeah, it's working on yourself. I think, and that's
Exactly.
a big
It's
misnomer,
very
and
important.
not,
I did it. I did it for 2 years,
yeah,
and every day you're still working on yourself. But if you could ground yourself to really just like I sat in a room for 2 years just working on things that I wanted, what I wanted out of
yeah,
life, and it
yeah,
worked, believe it or
it
not.
worked.
I wouldn't be here
Good for
doing this
you.
with you right now.
That's awesome.
Um,
I'm glad you are. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, it's just been a great journey for I see it has for you
Yeah.
and for me and a lot
Oh,
of other
jeez.
people that I've talked to. So how can people
Awesome.
find you if they wanted to join a class or just listen to you?
Yeah, just YouTube mostly, and just, leave me a comment. You can reach out Michael Rola channel at gmail.com. That's on my website too at Michael Rola channel. Just shoot me a message. Yeah. Just I always like talking to people. So, usually I'll email you back or just send me a text. I don't think I had my phone number on there once, but that was more for services. But yeah,
Mhm.
like I say, I'll be putting all that back up as we go. So
Excellent.
but
Yeah.
for yeah, just for now, I'm just blabbing on YouTube, and then I got a Dantian 3 Dantian Trinity meditation that you guys, if
Nice.
you're interested in, is on there, and it's like a whole body wash cleanse. You'll
Oh,
just
wow.
reset. So yeah, like yeah, I, there's so
You do it
many
all.
things out there. I no, and that's what I mean. I'm trying not, because you can go and it's great, but then it's limited, not because it's bad, but because it's over there, and it's not over there because
Right.
everything, the yin and the yang and the yin and the yang and the yin and the. So it's like, what's your own? What's your? And that's what I think we all, because we all have different fingerprints, right? We
Exactly.
all have something unique. Even if a lot of us, because there's a lot of us, even if it's talking and it's the same, we're
Mm-hmm.
good with, words, well, we're going to say something a little different, so it's just finding your own is really the best way. Yeah.
Niche,
But
really. Yeah.
yeah, so just website, YouTube, and then yeah, I'll just keep posting stuff as I go here. So, but for right now, little home TLC at the home and stuff like that, and just more
Cool.
working in the background on my bigger thing. It always ends up being bigger than I thought. And I'm, well,
Yeah.
what if I want to put that in part two? Well, yeah, but just then they're like, no, keep going because you're gonna probably want to put it in part three, but you haven't done part three. It's like, oh
Right.
man, okay. How long is this gonna take? 8 weeks. 8 weeks,
Eight
yeah,
weeks.
right. And then they're like, no, 8 weeks because you can't go longer than 8 weeks. Oh no, I can go longer than 8 weeks. No, you're not supposed to listen to us, and I'm like, oh, that's why you were saying 8 weeks. I thought you were like, I was asking how long is it going to be. I want to let them know, how long is it going to. They're like 8 weeks. It's like it's funny how they said that, I'm just like, okay. So then I'm gonna have to do that too. Once I got it all there, and I'm like, okay, it's complete. Now
Right.
I got to put it all into 8 weeks. Okay, and then so so,
You're
it's gonna
great.
be
You're great.
fun. Yeah, no, I
So,
appreciate
all right. Well,
chatting
thank
with
you
you. Of
so much for joining me tonight. It was a
course,
lot of fun. It was great. Please let me know when you're going to launch the courses and your website.
totally.
I'd love to have you back on, or vice versa.
Yeah,
Keep in touch. And
I'll be getting in the swing of things again too. Yeah, I do once a week on Sundays YouTube,
do you?
but I want to
Okay.
do more than that. Yeah, I'm always usually 10 a.m. Pacific time, but every
Okay.
Sunday I got a new video out. So yeah, for now.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'm saying no. I don't wait. I don't want to do it. I got too much stuff going on right now. So yeah, I'm in a little pause, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited. So revving up every season, right? Yeah. So breathe. Yeah, breathe. Shout out Elizabeth. She said breathe.
Breathe.
Cool. Yeah,
Excellent.
it's step one
Well,
is your intention. So
exactly. So I'll be watching
yeah,
out for all that stuff. Email me, inbox me, whatever, and let me know when everything's coming out. Anything else you'd like
awesome.
to say to
Will do.
everybody?
No, just nice to have you guys here. Hi, great to meet you
Yes,
all, and thank you, Jeanette. And let's all keep in touch and just really bring this out into the world. Like the more
absolutely.
united front we are. Like as soon as he's like
Better.
somebody comes to Jeanette, and I'm there. It's over. Nope, it's not happening. Nope, you better. I'm Libra and I'm Pisces, so you're not gonna know what I'm saying, and you're just gonna turn around and walk away. Watch, because I get them. Don't worry, I'm good. I'll confuse them so much. What about your higher self, huh? What would your higher self say? What the hell's a higher self? Just easy. It's easy
Easy.
nowadays. We could blow these people's minds, but we can't be too weird because it might be a little confusing.
Well, then you got the Capricorn, which is me, so the level head, and then
Yes. No, let's go. Let's tell
yeah.
them. All right. Yeah.
So,
So
all
cool.
right,
Yeah. No,
Michael.
and I'll be in touch. Yeah. Yeah, for
Please do,
sure.
and thank you
Awesome.
again, everybody. Michael Rola, go check him out on YouTube, and we'll see him again
Much
soon,
love, guys.
hopefully. Have a great
Yep.
night, Mike.
You too. Bye bye.